Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. My name is Jeremy Walsh, and I'm the Director of Support, Training, and Documentation for BNI Connect. I'd like to welcome everybody to the webinar today. Today's webinar is the first webinar in a 5-part series of webinars, specifically designed for new members or anybody that is really getting into BNI Connect for the very first time. What we do is we break BNI Connect apart into a bunch of smaller segments and give you little half-hour portions of training so that you're not overwhelmed with the technology. So today's session, we're going to give you kind of a quick overview of what BNI Connect is all about and what it is, what it does. And I'm going to show you how to fill out your profile and why that's really important to do so. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about giving and tracking referrals online through BNI Connect. So how do you turn in your slips? How do you record your one-to-ones and your referrals and your thank you for closed business? We're going to follow that up on Thursday with how you can then take that and do that all through your mobile device. So we're going to go over the mobile platform on Thursday. We're going to take a couple of days off and return next week with connecting with other members. You are part of a huge network here with BNI and in BNI Connect. We're going to show you how to get in touch with other people around the world. After that, we're going to go into the member tools and reports and finally round it all off with inviting and registering visitors. So thanks again for taking some time out of your day today. Just a couple of quick housekeeping things before we get started. Firstly, if you are here with me today on July 18th, 2017, you are participating in a live webinar. And what that means is that you can ask questions. This is interactive. So if you have any questions as we're going through things today, please do feel free to ask them. The best way to do that, again, I can't really open up the microphones of hundreds of people here, would get too loud here on the background, but you can type your questions in. There's a little questions panel. You type that in, I see it pop up on my screen, and I'll be able to answer that question as we're going through the material today. Now, we are scheduled for a half hour. So all these webinars, I try to keep the content to 30 minutes. That way you can get right back to your day and all the phone calls and emails and everything else that you might have missed. That said, I also will stay on the line and do questions and answers for as long as you want to. So although the content will be limited to a half hour, I will stay on the line until every question has been asked and answered. The only silly question is the unasked question. We also are recording this session. We make all of our recordings available on our support site, which you can get to by the question mark in BNI Connect, or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/BNI Connect Global. And of course, a great referral for me is if you do enjoy today's presentation, please share it with other people that may need to see this content or invite them to one of the upcoming webinars. So let's go ahead and get started. So this thing is not going to be all in a PowerPoint format. I just want to show you a couple of things here that gives you kind of an overview of BNI Connect. Now, just so you know, I am a BNI member as well. I've been a BNI member since 2002. So I've been around for quite some time here in BNI. Most of my business comes from BNI referrals, and I've been around both before and now with BNI Connect, and I can tell you it's made a huge impact on my life. To give you some perspective, BNI Connect is a ginormous platform. It is essentially performing 3 functions for the entire global organization. And by global organization, I mean, we're keeping track of all the numbers, the statistics, the memberships, the POMS reports, the referrals, when people are due for renewal and events and everything for 72 countries, over 1,000 regions around the world, 7,500 chapters around the world. Now think about that. That's vice presidents, 7,500 vice presidents entering POMS report data every single week. All in BNI Connect. We also have a public platform. So BNI Connect is a private platform. You do have to log into the system. You have to be a current BNI member in order to access the system. But we do have a public platform as well, public websites. And we have about 44 country websites, about 900 region websites, and about 7,000 chapter websites, which means what we're going to be talking about today is your profile. Your profile is going to appear in up to 4 places. your country website. So here in the United States, that's bniamerica.com, bniamerica.com. If you are in another country, your country will have a website as well. So your profile shows up there. It also shows up on your regional website. So I'm a member here in Rhode Island. Our regional website is bniri.com. My profile is up there, and then my chapter page as well. So there's 3 distinct public places that just by filling out your profile, you're going to get that visibility out there on the internet. But there's also the internal website as well, where we have kind of a social media platform just for BNI members. You know, this number is actually a little bit old. We have about 220,000 active members right now, and you can connect with them all by logging into BNI Connect. There's also about 550 active discussion groups where you can go on a deeper level and have discussions with other people around the world. So just to give you an idea of the scope of the technology, it is an online application. So it's not just a website, it is an online application, just like you'd have QuickBooks online or something like that. This one application consists of about 950 individual pages within the system itself. That's not even counting all the public web pages. This is just within the system. We have about 120 different reports, and one of the things that makes this, just so very complicated is that we are also translating everything manually into 47 different languages. So each time we add a new report or add a new function or come out with a mobile application, things like that, it has to be translated for all of these different countries that have a language other than English. It's also about a dozen different programming languages and of course about 1 million lines of code. And the thing that is really exciting about BNI Connect to me is that, again, I became a member in 2002. So when I became a member in 2002, my entire network, I just started in business. My entire network was my chapter. That was it. The 20 people that I met with on Thursday mornings, that was my network. That was it. About 6 months in to my membership, I was kind of voluntold I would be the vice president of my chapter. Of course, I accepted, and I went to a regional training. I went to leadership team training and learned how to be the vice president. That was awesome. You know what was really cool about it was I got to meet other BNI members from all over the area. About 100 BNI members I was in the same room with. The problem was, unless I collected their business card, there was no way for me to get back in touch with them. We didn't have BNI Connect back in 2002. We didn't have, an online website that we could go to in order to, look up people's contact information, find out who was in BNI. Fast forward a couple of years, I became a director consultant. When I became a director, I went to a national conference, got to meet hundreds and hundreds of BNI members, but the same thing. It wasn't until 2011 when BNI Connect came out that we're now able to access the contact details and we can connect with other BNI members anywhere in the world. And as I said earlier, we have about 220,000 members globally right now in 70 countries. So your network is deep and wide once you're a BNI member, and we're going to show you how to tap into that network a little bit. So enough of this PowerPoint for now. What I'd like to do is to actually go into BNI Connect. So right here, what you're looking at is you are looking at the home page here in BNI Connect. It's our, the landing page of, where your day-to-day activity takes place here in the system. Now, we're going to be talking about the profile today. And as I mentioned, your profile is going to appear in a number of different places. One of those places is on the public websites. And if up here in the upper right-hand corner, right below where it says my name, I can click on regional website. That'll actually take me to a public site. That's our public regional website here, bniri.com. And if I was to go and just do find a member, and I search for myself here, Jeremy Walsh, I can pull up my profile, and this is a BNI profile. So it has all my contact information. You'll see that I put a couple of videos in my profile. It has my ideal referral, top product. So this is just all here as part of my profile. Now, this same profile is also going to appear on my chapter webpage. So if I go to my chapter website, We have our Meet Our Members page, and the same profile appears here as well. Now, BNIAmerica.com. As I mentioned, in the United States here, we have a website for the whole United States. And if I go to find a member on this website, once again, I can search for myself. Of course, this is a little bit of a slower search because we're not just searching against a couple of hundred members, searching against the about 87,000 members here in the United States. And if I click on my profile here, you can see it's the same profile. So the same information is showing up on these 3 public websites. Now within BNI Connect, I can also use this magnifying glass in the upper right-hand corner. That will take me to the BNI directory. And here I can search the entire BNI global directory. So I could search for a plumber in Pakistan, or a, a massage therapist in Malaysia, or even just an electrician in, Delaware. So any of those things are possible. Of course, you can always just search by somebody's name if you know them. So just searching for myself. I do have a couple of test accounts in the system being an administrator, but take a look at this. If I click on this account right here, this is just a test account that I have in the system. And you'll notice that, there's just not much on it. This is what you look like to the rest of the world if you haven't filled out your profile yet. There's no way to get in touch with you. There's no phone number. There's no social media links. There's no address. There's no email. There's nothing on here. We're going to give you the visibility, but you have to build your own credibility when it comes to people connecting with you in the system. Now compare that to, if I click on my real account here, the internal BNI Connect profile does share more information than we do on the public website. So we do still have your business name and your name, and we still have the videos that you can share, but we're also going to share your keywords. We're going to share your logo. We're going to share all your phone numbers. On the inside of BNI Connect, if you want to, you can share your email address as well. But we also have all these other tabs along the top that aren't on the public profile. We do have our weekly presentations and our bio and our gains profile. We also have our connections. You can see the other people that you are connected with. Testimonials are a great way to build credibility. There's also a small photo sharing library. You can only share about 20 photos, but if you'd like to put things like client testimonials up there, you can. You can see what groups people are participating in. And finally, training. We can see what training we have attended. All this is credibility and relationship building. So how do we update all of that information in BNI Connect? So we do have a question here, by the way, from Ronnie. Ronnie says, how do we add this to the CEU slip via the BNI app? So when you do it via the app, I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you that right at the end, if you don't mind, Ronnie. I'll see if I can pull up a connection to the mobile app on my phone and show you how to do that. But long story short, you should be able to just submit a CEU slip. Any of the thing is, the thing to add would be anything with 1 credit. All right, and Mai asks, how do you add videos in your blog? I will show you how to do that as well. All right, so the place to update your profile here in BNI Connect is right here when you get to the home page. You should see at the top, Update Profile My BNI page. Update Profile My BNI page. Just click that button, and that will take you to the back end portion of your profile. Of course, if you're anywhere else in BNI Connect, just click on this Options button in the upper right-hand corner and go to My Account. Both of those will take you to this exact same place, which is, again, the back end portion of your profile. Now you'll notice that your profile, there's a number of tabs here along the top. So this splits the profile up, so it's not just one really, really, really long sheet. So the big secret to filling out your profile, go through each one of these tabs. Wherever you see a blank line, put something in there. All right, so that's the Cliff Notes, the Reader's Digest version. Just go through them all and put something in there. But what I want to do is kind of go through each of these tabs and give you a couple of little pointers throughout filling out your profile. Now, this first tab here is the main profile, and a lot of the stuff that's on this particular page is going to be read only, meaning that you can't change it. For example, your name. Most of the time you do have to request a change to your name. Now, the reason for that, for having to request a change to your name and to your company name, is because this is essentially when you submit an application to your chapter, that is somewhat of a contract. It's a legal document with your chapter that you're going to represent this company and this industry. So in order to have those things changed, we do need to make sure that it's updated on both the paper application and here. So if you're wondering why that is, that's the reason for it. Same thing with your product and service and your industry and classification. Now, these two fields here, registered tax office and VAT reference number, if you're here on this webinar from the United States, you can safely ignore both of those. If you're here from like the UK or South Africa or some of the other countries that require that, you can use those fields to enter your tax ID. But again, in the United States, we can safely skip over that. You can see what chapter you're in, when your renewal date is, and then at the bottom is the first place that we can start making some edits to this page. Now, the two things on this page that you want to pay attention to is the My Business and the keywords. The My Business and the keywords. Now, the My Business, the way that I look at the My Business part is if you think about how can you explain your business to somebody that really has no idea what you do. And here's the key, you need to keep their attention as well. Because nobody wants to read a 7-page long explanation of your business. When I think of this, if you think about when you're at a networking event, or even if you're at your weekly chapter meeting and you have that open networking period, that 15-minute period, and let's say that there's a visitor that comes or somebody that you haven't met before, and they say, hey, well, what do you do? That short explanation is what you should be putting in My Business. No more than probably a paragraph, a couple of sentences, nice and short and sweet. Now, this is also where you can put in, just in this field, you can put in some HTML code, including what's called an embed code. And that's how you can get a video into your profile. You can put in, for example, this iframe code. Now, you can get that iframe code from any really video sharing service, whether that's Facebook or YouTube or Vimeo. They all will provide you with the embed code. All you have to do is copy it and paste it into the My Business. All right, if you'd like more specific on that, I'd be happy to show you exactly step-by-step how to do that at the end of today's webinar. Just remind me when we get towards the end. But hopefully that answers some of your question there, Mai. All right, so that's the My Business. This next one is the keywords. Now, the keywords, these ones are really important because that's how people find you in the system when they don't know your name. So whether you're on the public website or whether you're on the inside, most of the time, you're looking for, again, a plumber in Pittsburgh, or you're looking for, computer tech in Texas. So the keywords is what helps to, make you found in the system. Now, by default, we're going to search, for example, your industry. We're going to search your classification and your chapter and these various words that are in your profile. This is your ability to kind of add to those words. One thing to keep in mind is that BNI Connect is a database, okay? So we don't quite have the same budget and fancy search algorithms that, Google does to kind of, guess at what you're looking at before you even know what you're looking for. This is more of a word for word search. So what you want to make sure that you do is, for example, I have, in mind, computer services, but somebody might look for a computer consultant. So I want to make sure that I put words like consultant and consulting in my keywords. That way I'm found for those. The other thing you may want to consider is putting in either states or cities or towns or things like that where you may want to be found. Now, of course, we're going to look at the address that's on your profile. But for example, if, as I said, I'm here in Rhode Island, if anybody knows how big Rhode Island is, it's tiny, by the way. It is about 20 miles wide by 40 miles high, which makes it a really, really, really small state. So much so that most people in Rhode Island here will go over the borders into Massachusetts and Connecticut. So I wanted to make sure I had Massachusetts and Connecticut in here. So if somebody was looking for me, in some nearby border towns, I would still be able to be found. Now, if you make any changes here, make sure you click the update button. You'll see the update button at the bottom of each screen. Now, keep in mind, these changes are immediate. They do happen right away. So if you change your picture, if you change your business, if you change your phone number, that will be updated automatically on all of the websites immediately. So for example, if I go in, I'm going to take out the My Business description of my profile. Right? And now I have nothing there. I have no videos, no text or anything. So if I go back out to bniri.com and I go to my Wakefield site and I go to meet our members and I go to Jeremy here, I no longer have those videos on my profile. They're gone. That happens right away. You don't have to wait for a synchronization or anything like that. If I go back, I'm going to go and just put that stuff back, update it, and I'm going to go refresh this page out there on the internet, and all that information is right back again. So again, you don't have to wait or push anything out. As soon as you click update, it's updated on the country site, the regional site, the chapter site, and in BNI Connect as well. All right, so let's take a look at the next tab. The next tab is your user profile, and your user profile is really, it's your username, your password, things like that. You can also choose the appropriate language that you'd like to use. Now, the memorable question and answer, if you ever forget your password, that is what is going to help you get back into the system. So for example, if I go to BNI Connect and I forget my password, if I click on Forgot Password or Username, this will allow me to search for myself. Type in the CAPTCHA, and what it's going to do, it's going to ask me whatever question I have on my question. And I have to give the correct answer, which, by the way, is case sensitive. So make sure if you have street or road, if the R is capitalized or something like that, it does have to be exact. But you can create your own question right here, and you can create your own answer to that question as well. And your username does not have to be your email address, though many people do choose to have your email address as your username. Keep in mind that this username will be effective for both BNI Connect, and it's the exact same username that you'll use for the BNI Connect mobile app that you would download to your phone. Now you can change your profile image and logo if you'd like to, or add one if there's not one there. For example, if I want to change my company logo, I can go ahead and click change. I'm going to click the magnifying glass here and let me go get a new logo. And I think I'll go with this white one this time and click save. Right, and now I have a new logo on my profile. All right, the next tab over. Oh, let me make sure I click update. All right, so the next tab over, a couple of things. Very top here, it says, show me on the public websites. This one is really important. By default, it will be set to yes, but if you uncheck this, you simply will not be able to be found on any of those public websites. So that means that if somebody goes to your regional website or somebody even just does a Google search, this won't be part of the results. You will not be shown on the public websites. The rest of this is really just filling out all the information. By the way, you can't type in this particular box up here. The place to update your address is down at the bottom. But just put in the phone numbers. You can choose which of those phone numbers you'd like to share on the public website. And then you can also put in up to 14 different social media links. They can be any combination of hyperlink out there on the internet, whether it's Twitter or Facebook or YouTube or a blog or whatever else you'd like it to be. And then finally, you can update your addresses. You can choose which of these addresses you want to appear on the public website, your main address, the billing address, or no address. If you have a home office, by the way, one thing that you may want to consider doing is, instead of having your physical address in there, have something like by appointment only, something like that. All right, so the next tab is really more about permissions. And this one, what you're doing is you're choosing, all of these here have to do with the public website. These permissions have to do with what you're going to share with other people inside BNI Connect. So in other words, do I want to share my bio tab? Do I want to share my connections tab? Do I want to share my testimonials tab? Do I want to show my email address and show my contact details? Now, by default, most of these are going to be set to my connections. Now, my recommendation is, at the very least, you want to make sure you're showing your contact details to everyone. The reason for that, the reason I recommend that is because what will happen is when somebody's looking for, again, an accountant in Alaska, they're not going to wait until you accept their connection request before they just move on to get somebody else's name and phone number. What you want to make sure is that as soon as they find you in BNI Connect, that you are sharing that information. So that's why I would set that to all. The rest of these have to do with some notifications. If you decide to participate in the groups, you can choose how often you get notified of updates to the groups. And the bottom have to do with your social media requests, whether you'd like those forwarded to your regular account or if you'd like those forwarded to a separate account. All right, the next tab is your bio tab. This one is the one that's going to take a little while to fill out. You can see that we have 4 different sections here with a whole lot of stuff to fill out. The first of which is the bio. This is the traditional bio, how your secretary treasurer might introduce you for your feature presentation when you have that in your chapter. You can also put a couple of weekly presentations. Now, the reason for that is that 2 reasons really. Number one, if you ever have to get in touch with a visitor very last minute, you can always go to your profile, copy and paste that into an email, and be able to have something for them to say right away. The other reason is that that does show up on your profile in BNI Connect. So we have 200,000 members in BNI. Probably 199,950 of them will never hear you give a one-to-one at your chat, or give a weekly presentation at your chapter meeting. This is your opportunity to share a weekly presentation with a larger audience. Of course, the gains profile, goals, accomplishments, interests, networks, and skills, and the tops profile. Now, if you have limited time, you only have a couple of minutes to get this done, I would say start with the tops profile. The reason being that that is on the public websites. That's on the BNI America site, that's on your regional site, it's on your chapter site, it's on all of those profiles out there on the public internet. So I would start with filling out the tops profile and then move on to the rest of them. Of course, please be sure to click update, otherwise you will lose all that information. All right, if you are a director, you would have a director tab. And finally, once you start going to trainings, for example, your member success program, those will magically appear on this training record. This isn't something that you can add yourself. It's as you attend them and the director marks you as having attended, then this will start to fill in automatically. If something's missing here, just get in touch with your regional office and they should be able to help you out with that. All right, we are at the bottom of the hour, and that, my friends, is your profile here in BNI Connect. What I'd like to do now is to open this up for questions. If anybody has any questions whatsoever, for example, if you'd like me to show you exactly how to go get that embed code, I'd be happy to do that for you. While you're thinking of any questions and entering those in, if you do have to leave right away, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I greatly appreciate you really taking time out of your business. I know we're all really, really busy in our businesses, and the phone calls and the emails and the clients and the everything else. And you took some time out of that business day in order to learn more about BNI Connect and enhancing your membership here. Thank you so much for spending that time with me. A good referral, please, is to share these webinars. Now, if you'd like to invite somebody to one of these webinars, you can either look on your event calendar, or a good referral for me, please go to the support site, support.bniconnect.com. Go to live and recorded webinars. This is where all the recordings will be. I'll try to get those up shortly. And then we also have our upcoming webinars. As I said, our very next webinar is going to be giving and tracking referrals. That's going to be tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. All right, so let me go ahead and start answering some questions. Mai says, where do I get that embed code? Okay, so the embed code, you do have to host the video with a video sharing site, right? We simply don't have the capacity to put hundreds of thousands of members' videos up in BNI Connect. So we leave that to the professionals, YouTube, Facebook, Vimeo, places like that. So if you have a YouTube channel, which is free, by the way, you can put it up on YouTube. And for example, let me go to YouTube here. So we have a YouTube channel here for BNI Connect, youtube.com/BNI Connect Global. And let's say that I wanted to, this video here, the BNI Connect Mobile Welcome to New Zealand. So if I wanted to take this video and put it on my profile, what you want to do is come down here and you'll see share. Now, what you don't want this. This is just a link to the website. That's what you'd put like in an email or something like that. But you'll notice the next thing here, it says embed. And this is really what you're looking for, is this embed code. Now, as I said before, you don't really need to know how this works or why it works or all the coding behind it. All you have to do is copy it, go to the main profile tab, and just paste it right into this. You'll see that I have those other iframe codes in there. That's all there is to it. Now, you do have to have at least one word of text in there. So you notice at the beginning I put in why BNI Connect. Here's the top 3 reasons. Then I put my embed code right after that. Now, if you're a Facebook person, you can also get this in Facebook. So here's my Facebook account here. So if I go to my account, so I click on Jeremy here, and if I go to more videos, these are different videos that I'm either tagged in or I've shared. I can click on one of the videos and you click this edit button. And one of the options here is embed. Once again, you don't have to know how it works. All you have to do is copy that and paste it. So you can use Facebook, you can use Vimeo, you can use YouTube, whatever you'd like. All right, hopefully that helps, Mai. Or I'm not sure if it's May or Mai. I apologize if I'm pronouncing it wrong. All right. What other questions? Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, compliments, complaints? I'm happy to hear them all. And it is May. So thank you so much, May. And thank you again for being here. All right, Yasmin says, awesome training. Thank you so much. And again, Yasmin, thank you for being here as well. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions. So if there's no other questions, thank you guys so much again for spending the time with me today. And again, I hope to see some or most of you on tomorrow's. Oh, Ronnie says, what about that CEU? Yes, Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'm sorry about that. So for the CEU, let's get that CEU entered in here. So if you're in BNI Connect, click on the home screen and click on Submit CEU Slips. And you'll notice that here in BNI Connect, it says BNI Webinar here. So you can just give yourself one. Now, here's the deal. We don't have every single type of training listed. The spirit behind the CEUs is that it's approximately the same number of hours that you invested in the training or in the networking or the learning. So, that's why, a BNI CD is generally an hour. The podcasts are about 10 to 12 minutes a piece, so 5 of them is about an hour. It takes on average about 5 hours to read a book. So that's the reason why these are weighted this way. But if it's not listed here, just give yourself something that has a 1 credit. And it's the same thing in the mobile app. Just make sure you give yourself something that has a 1 credit. So does that answer your question there, Ronnie? Jesse says, where do I get my login credentials? So if your application has been processed, you should have gotten an automatic notice saying, hey, create your BNI Connect account. If you didn't, just go to bniconnect.com, and there is a link here. It says new to BNI Connect, register now. All you need to do is enter in your email address, and it will send you a link to register. And if that doesn't work, just send me an email, support@bniconnect.com. I will be happy to just manually reset your account and send you a password. You can also do that by going to the support site, support.bniconnect.com, and clicking on Submit a Request. Yeah, Ronnie, as I said, we may try to add that into the translations now that we can do that in the app, but yeah, at this time we have much more limited space in the verbiage when it comes to the app. We're kind of scrunched for space there. Joe says, do we need to register separately for the next webinars? Yes, so each webinar is a separate link. So they all have a unique registration code. So you would have to register for those. You can either do that right through your regional website. So click on regional website and go to the event calendar. You could also do that by going to My Network. And in the events here, you should see your these webinars listed, and you can register for them. Of course, you can also do that from the support site as well. Joe says, excellent, thanks. See you later. Thanks, Joe. Excellent pun. I don't think I've seen that one before. All right, I don't see any other questions. So what I'm going to say is thank you again so much for being here, everybody. Get back to those emails and phone calls so you can put aside a half hour for tomorrow as well. In the meantime, happy connecting.